Okay, Tomb of the Spider Queen, game number 1, everybody. We are down to the last 4 teams here in the first qualifier for Europe, and this is going to be good. We had a very interesting match in the previous round with Washed Up, where they went up against one of the newer teams, against, I forgot the name already again, something with measures. Drastic measures was the team, but yeah, definitely, I need to remember these guys, because they did a fantastic job, and I really want to see them in the next qualifier. They took one map off Washed Up, and it was pretty amazing. So now we're headed into another best of 3 series. But the thing that changed now that we're down to the last 4 teams is that there is a loser bracket now. So whichever team loses still has another chance to make it to the grand final. And of course, this is a qualifier for the offline event in Miami. So if you're just tuning in for the first time into this tournament, this is the Heroes International. And we will have an offline event in Miami in October from the 14th to the 16th. And it's going to be awesome. We're going to have 3 European teams there, 3 North American teams, and 2 Korean teams as well, which is just going to be great. Tempest already qualified for the Koreans. This is the first qualifier for Europe. And in total, there's $11,000 of prize money on the line. And yeah, the event is just going to be fantastic. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a blast having all 3 top regions again in one room, just fighting against each other and the best Heroes of the Storm players in the world. Now, I'm going to add additional information, if you're watching this on YouTube, also into the description. So there's going to be a couple of links. Make sure that you check them out as well. And as I already said in every other match too, keep in mind that there is also a crowdfunding. So you can actually support this. There's a community crowdfunding where you can support the event. If you want to see more international events like this, more offline events like this in the future, this would be a good way to go about it. So every single donation to the crowdfunding is matched by an equal donation from our sponsors. And even our sponsors are just Heroes of the Storm fans that want to make this happen, that want more competition on an international level in an offline environment. So again, if you want to support those efforts, if you want to help us to make the event even bigger, get more casters involved, improve the production, get more hardware, maybe another roaming camera and whatnot, then this is a good way how you can do it. The link to the GoFundMe is also in the description, so you can check that out. If we're running over budget and we have more money to spend, then this is going to be donated to charity, so we're not going to enrich ourselves with that. I hope that by now we got enough trust when it comes to that. But yeah, this is qualifier number 1 for Europe, and as you can see, we have now Team Copium entering the stage. We haven't casted any of their games thus far yet, but Anduin, Hanzo and Hogger for Washed Up. And Washed Up, as you can tell from the player names, is pretty much a mix between Team Wah and the Hardos. So if you're a little bit newer to the European Heroes of the Storm scene, you probably know them under the names Oxygen and Chili Mountain. They played under the tag of those organizations because there was initially planned that there is a offline event for the CCL, and then the CCL cancelled that, which was a bit of a dick move because a lot of people already booked their flights and hotels. But in order to pay for those flights and everything, a lot of the European teams that were looking for orcs that they could represent that would then pay for their travel. And that's why they played under a different name. But obviously, initially, Hazu's team was called the Hardos, and the French team around Masquerade and Desquaza was called Team Wah. And they banded together, since with an offline event that lasts 3 days, not every player can make it. So somebody like Benny, somebody like Dino, currently not playing here with the team. A lot of these guys are either students who have to work, might not be able to take a day off, or have an exam around the same time. It's just the restrictions that you have with offline events like this. But this is pretty much a little super team. But they lost. They lost one of their maps in the previous round. So there's a bit of a question mark attached to them right now. But we definitely have to check what's going to happen. But yeah, we have Sergeant Hammer banned out, so a lot of the bans are actually targeting also Nick, especially when we're looking towards Tyrael and Sergeant Hammer. Nick has been playing a lot of those. Tyrael not even as a main tank, but more as an assassin. Whereas for Menaldor, we got now Sonya, we got Rhaegar in play. Last double pick here for Nick and Masquerade. By the way, talking about Miami also, the one thing that I want to point out still is that it's a venue that is open to the audience. So if you happen to live near Miami or you want to organize a little travel and maybe have a vacation there and then also stop by, shake hands with the players and the casters, you can definitely do that. So keep that in mind. And again, all the information is on the website, location, dates, times. Tacita, and we got Diablo. Alright, so Tomb of Spider Queen is our first map. Final pick. Let's see what Team Copium is going to get here. They made it already into the top 4 of tournament number 1, so that's already an accomplishment in and of itself. But the good thing is, if they lose, they have another shot through the losers bracket now. And our final pick is Cassia. Alright. Lots of damage here. Nice none. Okay, Tomb is map number 1. Let's go, everybody. First map between Team Copium and Washed Up. First game, Tomb of the Spider Queen is the map, and on the left side we got the boys from Washed Up with Hazu on Hanzo, Banana H on Anduin, Dequaza playing Hogger, Nick on Tacita, and as you can see it's Masquerade on the front line with Diablo. At the right side of the map, Team Copium with Gaflo and Cassia. Gippe is currently playing Rhaegar. We got Simply on Johanna, Meldor on Sonya, and Nano is playing Junkrat. So, let's have a look what Washed Up is up to today. What they're currently doing here. We have on level 1 already the charge strikes. We get also the sign fusion at this point on Tacita. And a little bit of poke is happening here from House. It's the first game of the day, so players have been warming up, obviously, at least most of them. Apparently, Masquerade was in a bathtub. They had to call him and make sure that he was going to the game. I mean, we're used to the franchise being late, but I still have some doubts about him being in a bathtub. Somebody said he's in the bathroom and probably like testing his newest bathrobe or something. And I can believe that, but in a bathtub at 2 PM? Now don't get me wrong, I'm a big bathtub fan. I love nothing more than at the end of a long and annoying day getting myself a hot bath, a good book or a nice movie, a cold beer, and just relax, chill, and yeah, have a good time there. But at 2 PM? I have, like, yeah, I don't believe that. I think the franchise is lying to us. So either way, they're all here now. We have already... what I was pretty much saying is, like, with the exception of Masquerade, who apparently takes long and, yeah, interesting baths at 2 o'clock in the middle of the day, everybody else was just trying to warm up a bit. And this is still the first real match of the day here, so we'll see who has the upper hand. Meldor for now, his first blood. He was hoping for a few other players to maybe come over and assist him, but that didn't happen. There's the wall and the stun.
It was an amazing wall. It was fantastic. Everybody said so. Diablo got the stun. It was good. Excuse me. I'm still talking. The wall was amazing. And then they made Cassia pay for it. It was great. Tremendous.
So yeah, great walls here from Tacita. Our boy is prepping this. And this is a cool thing when you're comboing Tacita off with Diablo. You can pretty much just generate a few walls that Diablo then can stun people into. Works a little bit similar when you're playing with Leo. The exception or the difference is obviously that in one case you have to pop your ult in order to get the walls into play with the Entomb, but the idea behind it is pretty much the same thing. So Tacita can be kind of nice. In that particular combo, it's pretty awesome. But we already had the 2 kills, so Cassia went down and they got the kill against Sonya. They also stole the camp, which was great for them too. We have a lot of slams here from Sonya herself, so that's the next thing. Middle of the map, everybody's still trying to turn in. A couple of gems have already been lost for Team Copium. Nothing too crazy yet, but of course it adds up over time. And yeah, they go for Gavlo again, and they drop Cassia. And even Rhaegar was in trouble for just a second. They were able to get him out here, but 3 kills to 0, so Washed Up. Today in game number 1, a little bit more convincing than what happened against Drastic Measures. Really interesting team. I definitely want to see them in the second qualifier. But that's gonna be pretty sweet. But yeah, either way, we now have the first turn-in available, technically, for Washed Up. Another wall! And they tried to go for another Johanna kill, but they couldn't quite make it happen. That was close, though. So we get the plate of the whale. Isn't that fat-shaming? I mean, I really don't know, but the Cassia, it doesn't really seem like she has a problem there. But plate of the whale is always a little bit weird. Like, why would you call her a whale? I mean, I haven't seen her in a bikini or anything, but so far she looks pretty fit to me. I mean, she is an Amazon. And just look at her. Like, she has no problems in that regard. But yeah, maybe she has a lot of money. A lot of whales in that one too. Maybe for the next Heroes of the Storm, Heroes of the Storm 3.0, we're gonna have a lot of microtransactions, and then you want to have some big whales on your team. But now Khaldor gets attacked, goes down, and well done. So we got 6 kills to 0, and I gotta say, Washed Up, they are definitely running the show now. Yesterday, after they lost the initial map against Drastic Measures, they were also getting their act together and really coordinating those plays a bit better. Today, right from the get-go, they look a lot more coordinated than they did yesterday. They have plenty of gems to turn in. 6 kills to 0, nearly destroying the bottom fort already. Yeah, well, no, not nearly, a stretch to nearly. That thing's gone. So that's big. Taking structures out even before you're getting objective, that is pretty solid. Now level 7, we get the Conviction. The blue web beavers are now descending too. And off we go. Cassia, careful, trying to make a play, but going a bit too deep for my liking. And that's another kill. Team Copium, they're not coping well here. We are still waiting for the first kill of the game, and now that the web beavers are descending, they're in real trouble because the bottom fort is destroyed and the one in the middle and the top lane are both exposed. So this is not looking too good. If you then glance over at the experience lead that Washed Up is currently holding over the red team, then you know that they're cruising for a bruising. Oh yeah, it's gonna be more than a bit difficult because that's another fort that goes down, and here comes the arrow. Oh, 4-man arrow. At that point, Hanzo just wanted to YOLO that out to look good. He was like, yeah, nobody's gonna follow up on this. Shockwave completely missing, by the way. And then he gets whooped over and gets killed. First blood for the team. Nice. Nicely done. Team Copium. Look at that. They're able to get a kill here. Also, we're going to take another look at it. So look at this. First, the Shockwave is missing. So the Frenchies today not really in good shape. First, Masquerade has big problems with the bathtub. Then Qualifier is missing the Shockwave and gets killed a second later, losing a few gems in the process. Now Diablo also died, so both of the Frenchies, or 2 of the Frenchies, have now been taken down. Yeah, definitely a bit of a problem. The only French master that is still alive is Anduin, but that's a couple of gems that they've now lost. And yeah, that's a bit problematic. So a good move by Team Copium to not only lock in level 10 abilities, but also close the gap a bit. Doesn't change the fact that they lost a lot of their forts here, but they could see if, yeah, maybe they can do a little bit more at the top lane. Take one of the forts down. They have to also deal with those camps in the middle of the map. Level 10 abilities now for both sides. Another attempted catch. Well, the Valkyrie is also out, but here come the web beavers. Once again, the Quasar Riptide gets taken out. Alright, 24,000 damage for Tassadar. They're coming in again, and Diablo is just bullying them, but he also died and lost his soul stack, so he's a bit more on the squishy side now and has to be careful until he gets his stacks back. Yeah, another wall, but this time not really having a big impact here. First web beaver gets taken out by the bruiser camp on the other hand. But up at the top, there's still a bit of push happening as they're making the plays. So, for now, we're still seeing slight poke happening from Team Copium, but they really struggle to get a foothold in the game here. At least they broke through the wall at the top, and they're also doing damage to the fort. But the wall is out again, trying to trap, and instead it's Masquerade who finds himself on the receiving end of an ass-kicking, and Diablo is dead again. Not so much Immortal here. So that's why it is. Now, at this point, 7 kills to 3. We had Hogger and also Hanzo defending the middle and the bot lane, but this fort is about to go down, or not. Yeah, okay, this thing is gonna fall. Eventually they're gonna sneak Junkrat over and take it, but that's obviously a little bit memey here if you take a look at this. That's right, yeah, that's a problem. We're gonna deal with it soon, TM. Now, we got level 13 talents available. With this, it's the Shadow Walk that we're getting. We have the top fort now destroyed with the minion wave that got escorted in too. And of course, more camps about to be taken here as another bruiser camp gets locked in by Team Copium. They're still a level away from 13, so they're now down a talent. But with the kills that they got against Washed Up, they denied a few gems to the blue team, and that at least prevents Washed Up from getting an easy second turn-in. Especially earlier when Hogger died, that was a problem. That was a lot. I think they lost like 20 gems, roughly. So that was a big blow to them. And it could have been so much worse for Team Copium if they didn't get that kill, because a second turn-in at that point in time would have likely taken the first keep down. And yeah, that was a bit of an issue. But either way, for now, what we get at the bot lane is another push set up by the blue team as they're capitalizing a bit more on their talent advantage. They open the entire wall up, so that already bodes well for the next objective that they're going to take. At the same time, we still have the mid lane being poked, and it's actually kind of nice for them, because with Nick on Tassadar, they have a lot of range poke that they can use here, not only against new spawning minion waves, but also against structures. We got, by the way, Surge of Light and the War Traveler here. So Cassia going full in on this one. Starting it off with the Plate of the Whale. It's the green build. A build full of hope. Yeah, they need a lot of hope here. And they don't even have Oriel. 28,000 damage for Cassia, 41,000 for Tassadar. Our boy is definitely taking it. The fort has been destroyed, so yes, Junkrat and his boys, they snuck over. Another hit. Already the cleanse as the arrow came out. Ancestral is also on point. Hogger poked out. Ooh, Jojo! Wow, that one was close. It really nibbled on her feet, but didn't get the kill instead. It's not only a kill on Rega, but a light bomb attack against Junkrat. And now Sonya dies too, and you guessed it, Cassia is in trouble too. So that's 4 kills. In total we have 11 to 3, and level 16 is now available. And with that situation, it's obviously only one thing that you really can or want to do, and that is to go for the boss straight away. Sonya is still there, but we got Jojo defending at the bottom of the map as the catapult was pushing in. But of course now it's going to be a turn-in for the blue team and the boss push at the same time. Nothing that they can do to stop this. They will likely lose keeps here. Question is simply, can they maybe get another kill? Can Junkrat, for example, get a good mine placed down, isolate a hero, and then get a drop? That might help them to defend properly, but it is an uphill battle from here on out for sure. Game number 1 in this winner bracket semi-final, and Washed Up is looking very, very strong. They are, of course, aiming for at least a keep, ideally 2. If they get kills, they might even move towards the core. So, yeah, the blue team, they are looking at such a good position here. This keep has no chance. You can try to defend this one as best you can. There's no way that you're going to save it. The only thing that you can really do is take the hit points of the boss and... oh, good arrow. Junker down. Take the hit points of the boss and the web weaver down so that the core is at least not in trouble. But just look at the minimap. The middle keeper is now also dropping low and Washed Up with the boss still in play. Are making the move for the core, trying to end the game here. The team composition that they rocked is absolutely working out for them. Another attack against Diablo. They're trying to get the kill here. So far that hasn't worked. Buying a bit more time. Tassadar is gone, but so is Sonya. And the core is dropping, and it's dropping quickly. That's game. Washed Up with a 1-0 lead in the best of 3 series here at the winner bracket semi-final of the Heroes International Qualifier. Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet, so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV. Towers of Doom, map number 2, chosen by Washed Up. When I looked at the remaining maps that were still available for this, and Copium decided that they want to have first pick, first ban, it was absolutely obvious that Towers of Doom would be played. It is still a Washed Up favorite, so they're going for it here. You can clearly see or you could see in game number 1 that there is a difference between the two here. Currently, everybody is expecting Washed Up to be the top dog, the top team that represents Europe at the event in Miami. Now, there could be a couple of upsets. Again, we got close to one just yesterday. So the jury is not out just yet. It's not enough to just throw players together that are really good and have the skills. You also need to make sure that they have a good shot caller, that they have somebody, you know, that can be vocal, that can lead the team. and there's some other things as well that come into play here. But generally speaking, this is the team that everybody has their eyes on right now, whereas Team Copium is usually the team that finds themselves in position, I would say like 4 to 8, roughly in that mix, depending a bit on how many teams are participating, who's participating, what tournament we're talking about. So they're doing a great job here, and again, them reaching the top 4 is already a big step. Even if they don't qualify through qualifier number 1 or number 2, the last chance qualifier, where the best teams out of the first 2 qualifiers have another shot at getting a ticket to Miami, is going to be really important, and that one could be big for them. So we have on map number 2 now, Washed Up coming in with Genji and with Leoric. Andron is already banned out, so not even opting in for some kind of play around Genji and the light bomb approach, so none of that is happening. Sergeant Hammer is banned. And we also have the global band out. Okay. So Blaze as a first pick, Sylvanas and Brightwing. Okay, so with Sylph, you have at least the option to build momentum. It's honestly something that they gotta think about a bit. What do they do after they win a team fight? If you have a Sylvanas and a team fight victory in, let's say, the mid and the late game, can lead to you taking multiple bell towers depending on the situation in the game. If you have also, I don't know, some heroes that are really good at taking structures down, that could be nice. The Koreans, for example, did something. We have seen it in Europe too. But the combo of Sylvanas and Greymane can be absolutely brutal if you are able to rotate them onto a lane and there's nobody defending for a few seconds, because you can just go brutally ham with Greymane as Sylvanas disables all the structures. And Greymane in particular has been played by the Korean teams in the Korean qualifier a lot. So also something to really watch out for when we're heading to the offline event. Greymane gets played in Europe occasionally, especially in Battlefield of Eternity, but nowhere near the frequency in picks for him that we're seeing on the Korean side. So I personally can't wait for the regions to clash. So it's going to be pretty sweet. But either way, we got the ban on an Uberok, so you don't want to see Masquerade diving too hard. Diablo is still open when we're talking about main tanks. So is Garrosh. Stitches. We had a couple of players lately favoring Stitches in Towers of Doom. Narkrum in particular comes to mind. Has actually showcased that just yesterday. And there he is, Stitches. Stitches and Ana. Okay, so with that, we got Stitches. I mean, Stitches with a bit of a hook. Nick, what are we going to get from him? They could swap Genji over to Nick and then maybe even take something along the lines of a false start if they wanted to combo off a Stitches Gorge with a Gust. Not sure if that's really going to happen here, but I mean, it is an option. Also always check what Ana is going to take, but for now the double pick for the red team. We got Zarya and Garrosh. I love Zarya and Garrosh as a combo. I gotta admit though that it's a bit of a weird draft to me. If you go for Blaze plus Zarya plus Garrosh, then I would have expected a different damage dealer. So that is an interesting one. Didn't really expect that. With a comp like this, Vala would have made a little bit more sense to me, but let's see what they can pull off with it. Zarya Garrosh is of course nice because the level 4 speeds Garrosh up and allows him to be even more dangerous. And here's the false set pick that I was just theorizing about a second ago. So game number 2, everybody. Let's jump straight in. The best of 3 series heading into the next map. Towers of Doom. We got Team Copium against Washed Up. Washed Up against Copium for the second time. Hazorps on Falstad. We got Nick on Genji. On the blue team, Dequaza is playing Leoric. Banana on Ana. And we got Masquerade playing Stitches. Over on the right side of the map, Maynard on Blaze. We got Garflo and Sylvanas. None on Zarya. Simply Garrosh and Gripper on Brightwing. Yeah, I'm a little bit... I really want to see if this draft is going to work out for Team Copium, because I honestly have my doubts a little bit. Normally, when you're going for a Zarya draft, as I already said, the damage dealer is somebody that is a lot more auto-attack heavy. So Sylvanas is of course a pretty sweet pick, but if she is going to synergize properly with this, that's a very, very different question. I love the combo between Garrosh and Zarya just in general. It's something that has been played a lot. Banana, by the way, saving his own ass here. I'm not quite sure if you caught that, but he just in time hit the sleep dart on Garrosh before he was able to stun Ana. So that was actually huge. But the level 4 for Zarya is going to be big, and allowing Garrosh to just move in and do damage is going to be quite nice. It's a composition that has been played a lot in Battlefield of Eternity. Nado, careful, Zarya. By the way, moving on level 1 straight into Together We're Strong. Not so sure if that's really true, because she just got crushed. Zarya already getting down, and now we got the might of the Banshee Queen. Another hook, but this time a flip, and yep, Masquerade goes down. So pretty much, when you think about it, Masquerade just killed himself. That's what just happened. In case you want to see it again, well, there it is. Masquerade, he's looking for it, he's looking for it, he sees the hook, he goes for the hook, and whoop! Straight into tower range. Garrosh says, thank you very fucking much. And that's the end of Stitches. I mean, you gotta love plays like this. Masquerade just with a big self-own here. That was fantastic. Can you imagine the communication? I got him! I got him! He got me! He got me! Oh, too damn good. Alright, either way. Indomitable wants another hook, and this time on Brightwing, and that one's way more successful. Nick comes in, gets the kill. Job well done. Ana goes down too, so that means we have both of the supports now gone. They're able to murder Sylvanas. And yeah, that's 3 kills to 2 now in total already. We have the level 4. Oh, another stun. They try to go for Leo. The Quasar can still ghost out, and he gets away. 100 hit points, a little bit more than that. But yeah. Down to the bottom of the map, we still have Nick moving now from lane to lane, trying to also stop this with level 4. We of course now have the speed barrier, and that's where things get real fun. With Genji getting destroyed, this means that both of the teams have now the same amount of kills. Copium is obviously fighting back quite heavily here, and is already doing structural damage at the bottom of the map as they're destroying the first tower and aiming for the gate. The altars are activating though, and that's the first altar phase, meaning that we have 3 in total on the map. 12 points to be gathered. Let's see if they can. Top right, Menaldor already gets the channel. Usually the top left and top right is just an even exchange, and then the teams are fighting for the third one. That's pretty much what they're doing right now. So, yep, off we go. There's one flip. Masquerade has to be careful. Shots are fired, and that is 2 of the altars taken against Washed Up. As Genji finally channels through the top left and gets 4 shots fired too. So a slight advantage right now for Team Copium. In the early game, it's nothing crazy. It's nothing too impactful. The late game is, of course, what really matters on Towers of Doom. But at the same time, everything that you accomplish in the earlier stage of the game can, of course, have a pretty big impact in the late game too. So you shouldn't really give up too much here. But especially during the first altar phase, there's not really a problem if you only catch 1 out of the 3. So that's kind of fine. It's going to be more problematic if your opponent gets all 3. That's usually a pretty bad sign. Just ask any North American team. They can tell you a tale or two about that. Now, 31 stacks already for Hazu. That's pretty nice faucet play that we're seeing from him. He's stacking fairly quickly on this. If he can keep that up, then he is going to be a monster in the late game. So, yeah. But they are pressing hard for that bottom of the map. They really want to take a few structures here. And Ana is down. So Ana is dead. Nearly a kill also against Sylvanas, but there's a very nice jump on the wave that she executed. Just as Masquerade was trying to get her a bit closer to the bell tower. And Masquerade himself is now also in trouble. He gets flipped back into the team. And Copium wants to go for another kill. Couldn't quite make it happen, but you can really tell that there's a lot of pressure now. So, not too bad. I really like the way that they are playing this one out. Hazu now at 46 stacks. We're 5 minutes in. 46 stacks at the 5-minute mark. It's pretty alright. Now, they're going for one camp after another, but I really gotta say that Team Copium is so far doing a pretty good job here. They've been pressuring that bot lane over and over again. It's by far the most important lane on Towers of Doom because of the location of the pumpkin camps and also the altars that can spawn at the top side, the bot side. But can they get another altar here? It's a single altar this time. Hazu's trying to stack as best he can. What's his damage at this point? He's sitting at 12,000. He has second highest damage dealer in the game right now. Yeah, Stitch is getting attacked again, so is Genji. We have Leo against Blaze at the top, but he has the level 10 abilities for Washed Up. They're a bit faster, and that gives them Gorge. We got Gorge, we got Entomb, and we got Gust. So they can play around all of those. They're still attempting to interrupt as best they can. There's already the Gorge. No level 10 just yet, but thanks to Zarya, they might be able to save Garrosh after all. And just as I say, the Entomb drops, and he... No fucking way. What? He gets away and Stitches dies? Are you kidding me? Leo is dead and Garrosh survived this? What? Look at this one. The Entomb drops. He's pretty much dead. I mean, at this point, he's just dead. And they save him with Brightwing, with Zarya, and then Stitches dies a moment later. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. Wow. Crazy plays. Banana attacked as they're again getting Garrosh in position, but this time he might be a bit too deep. He's still able to escape here. 6 kills to 3, so all of a sudden Copium is the one. There's ahead in kills. They have taken another shot against Washed Up score, so now it's 36 to 28 points. But damn, baby, there are some really interesting plays happening right now. Falster is now at 58 stacks. Just saying. So Hazu, that late game, oof. That late game is going to be fairly interesting here. I mean, for sure. Okay, so either way, there's another hit and another Gorge. They try to go for Garrosh again. Yeah, even this time it's not working out. Instead, they go for the birdie. Jesus, Masquerade, stop going for Garrosh. It's backfiring every single time. He's not learning his lesson, is he now? He's trying to do it again. Falstad was just like, dude, can you please stop? Like, don't give him the chance to get into an even better position here. Banana is getting attacked and he drops 2. That's 8 kills to 3. This is very reminiscent of what we saw yesterday with Drastic Measures. I already told you about it earlier. Washed Up, they have these games just now where I'm really not convinced. I expected them to go into this qualifier and absolutely brutalize everybody. And they might still win this with the 2-0. But Team Copium is all of a sudden showing them how it's done in a lot of these fights. And that is quite something. Genji gets out. Garrosh. Zarya with another hit. And this might be a bit too much for her. Brightwing is still healing her though. And is able to keep them all alive. But gets eaten. Brightwing actually got eaten before it could complete this. Now, Falstad is also low, so that's another problem. 72 stacks for Falstad, by the way. And the channel at the top is happening for both of the teams, as they're both trying to make this work. There's obviously that fight at the bot lane, which was a bit of a side product, but still, the main goal is to channel these altars. Now we have level 13 talents for both of them, which also means that Stitches is now fully upgraded on his hooks. But that is quite the game that we're seeing here. 29,000 damage for Sylvanas. We have 22,000 for Genji and for Falstad. Even exchange in altars. So shots are being fired. But there's another flip. They try to go for the Quasi again. And here's Race Car Garrosh. So yeah. That level 4 talent on Zarya is just like too much fun if you combo it off with him. The Gust had to be used, trying to isolate them a little bit more here. Even that not working out for them. But it is crazy game. It's a crazy game. 100%. Cams are up on the map, and that means both of the teams are going for it. Nobody's invading. Maybe they are after all. I was actually initially thinking that Garrosh was just moving over to have a look. But nope, they're making the play for it. They're making the play, and they're taking it with Zarya. Nice. Steal it away. No problem whatsoever. And now they've taken both of the pumpkin camps. That's a bit of extra experience and also potential push power at the bot lane bell tower. And Masquerade, he's still waiting for that hook. This might be a bell tower conversion, guys. I think, yeah, this is a bell tower conversion. There's the Gorge. I'm not sure if it's enough. Gust isn't ready yet. That's another problem. There's another flip and Masquerade gets immediately attacked again. Yeah, if the Gust would have been ready here, that's a different story, because then after Gorge they can Gust and isolate the target a bit more. I'm still not sure if that would have taken Stitches down, but it would have been much easier for them to make a play. So Team Copium with 5 bell towers to 3 in just in time for the next altar that gets announced at the bottom of the map. Yeah, nicely done. Falstad is at 86 stacks now. 86 stacks on the level 1. And his damage is at 29, so he's actually 29,000. It's the same number than Genji. And talking Genji, he gets attacked too. I gotta say that Garage is doing a fantastic job in this game. He's really the linchpin in all of these situations. He's doing... I mean, he is opening up most of the kill opportunities for the team. And it's really telling. So, big problems for Washed Up here. If Copium wins this and forces game number 3, that would be impressive. And it is a big question mark. So, 9 kills to 4. 16 is already on the board. Yeah. Again, Gorge is ready, so they gotta be careful. Earlier was already a problem because he gorged before Gust was available. Now we have the same situation, so if he wants to go for that hook, they need to wait a little bit longer so that they can execute the combo. They still got the Entomb, so they could follow up with that. But now they are focusing a bit more on the side lane pressure, since they are trying to get the conversion at the top, and I think they're going to get this one. Yep, the hook also coming out. By now all of the ults are ready, so now they can technically go for Gorge and Gust. Pulverize on level 16, of course, also a huge game changer. And Falstad by now with the Airy Gust, also with the Flow Rider here. So good synergy for him now too. We even have Royal Focus after... they go for the boss. Yeah. They go for the boss here. As the red team is trying to trap them a bit at the bot lane. They just make a play for boss. All of this is happening as the next triple altar phase is being announced. Each team has still 4 altars now for Bell Tower. But yep, 28 to 19. So this is a big one. Here you can make a huge difference. If 2 altars are now channeled by Copium, then they are dropping the blue team down to 11. So very close to the single digits. And we got also 6 pumpkins marching through the bottom of the map. So that's another huge problem. Sylvanas is already channeling here. If they can escort the pumpkins in, that would also be nice. Meneldor is trying to interrupt at the top. Shots are being fired. They're down to 15 now. And they're going to escort some of this in. Hazu is buying time with the Gust up at the top. Talking about buying time. Yeah, Meneldor is going to fall, but he was just trying to buy time because this is now another 6 shots fired. Bam! 9 points to 20 as the second altar gets channeled by Washed Up. They didn't even have to go for the double altar play because they had so many pumpkins moving through the map that they could easily use those to get further ahead. So Washed Up is on single digits now against the 20 stacks that we have for Team Copium, the 20 HP on the core. Zarya herself now with the gain train. And each team is reclaiming their own bell tower. But it is wild. Absolutely wild what we're seeing. And after what happened yesterday, Washed Up already dropping a map, I don't think they're too happy about this. These are games that you would normally expect them to really dominate, similar to what happened on the first map. But it's not quite working out here. So, yeah, they are still looking great, again, and they're also ahead in the series, obviously. It's a bit of a question of, do the expectations really meet what's going on? This time the Gust was a bit more successful, but they are still able to save Zarya without a problem. Great Entomb blocking both of them off, but they still cannot get the kill. There's just not enough damage for them to come in and work on this right now. So we got 5 kills to 9. Another hook! And Sylvanas makes it out of the fight. Tries to turn it around with a Wailing Arrow, but Gavlo goes down. And that's the moment where Washed Up can try and turn this again. 9 kills to 6. Another hook. And at least they had Bunker back up. But now, of course, they are on the run, trying to escape as 2 altars are appearing in another 10 seconds. Still attempting to body block a bit. There's another taunt. Genji protected, by the way. Oh, he needs healing, and he's getting out. But Garrosh didn't die either. So they weren't able to get that kill in this situation one way or another. Now we have Genji already channeling the first one, and Leo is on altar number 2 with 4 more shots fired. It would be 9 points on the core to 12, and they get both, yes. No additional kills on the other hand. But yeah, hooks all over the place. Yeah, now the combo. Leo with the Entomb and then the Gust, but Stitches, who goes for the Gorge, gets flipped by Garrosh, and that leads to another escape scenario with the Quasar even dying. No chance for Leo to get out. Instead, they were also trying to go for Genji, which they couldn't really pull off here. Sylvanas is back and is now going for the infamous Sylvanas flank and nearly drops Genji. Nick barely making his way out of the fight. But Banana, he's not able to escape. So Ana is down, and that's 2 heroes that are gone, which allows Copium to go for another bell tower conversion. Especially, of course, with Sylvanas in their midst. Now, 40,000 damage by Falstad, 52,000 for Genji. But this game is getting wild. The level 20 talent is now available for Team Copium. Another single altar at the bottom of the map in just a bit. Up towards the top, a minute for the boss. They could still try and take these pumpkins, and even a conversion of the bell tower in the mid lane is not out of the question. So that is... I mean, this is pretty mad. Copium is doing such a great job here. Level 20 talents for both sides. We have the unyielding defender now. No big surprises though. But they're still trying. This is a little bit more questionable. They're currently trying to go up against this. But if Stitches, yes, gorgeous anybody, then yeah, I really don't know what that's... I would be hesitant pushing the way that they did for exactly this reason. You're going up against the Stitches that has Gorge and then you have Gust. Why would you give them a chance like this? I understand holding the bell tower, but pushing the pumpkins in this heavily and aggressively, I'm not so sure about that. Now, Leo is low, and they might even get a kill here. The Quasar gets dropped nice, so now it's a 4 versus 4. And they're going for another one. They're actually going to get Nick here, aren't they? Blaze is in trouble too. Nick made it out. But this is just such a wild game. The fights that we're seeing are all over the place. And while this is happening, we have another 3 pumpkins moving in. Just in time. That minion wave saved the core for them. It's 4 points on the core. If these 3 would have made it through, that's a single point left. But even if you now just go for boss, you can win the game right there. So what Washed Up has to do, they have to move towards the top and take the boss at some point. They can't just simply let it stay on the map. They have to remove it as an option. So yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. They're moving towards the top. As long as they don't have vision, they have to assume that there is a move made for the boss. And now the question how Copium is dealing with this. And keep Zarya in mind. Zarya has the expulsion zone. They could go for it. And yeah, there's a bit of a trap. They're already trying to figure this out. Alright, the Buried Alive is out. They need to save him. And they do. But where is that Brightwing? Gorge is already being used. Brightwing, not enough heals just yet, and Garrosh is dead. Am I blind? Did we not get the Brightwing move? Did she not go for the big heal here? Either way, it's a kill for Achilles. Leo also... Oh, Leo falls! Bolt of the Storm! Ana in trouble! And that's a kill! They might win the game here. Can they get another one? Stay a little bit farther away. Here's the hook. And Carflow gets out. Can they take the boss now? Or the altar? One of the two. They need one of the two and they have a 5 versus 3. Another hook? No Gorge available. All on cooldown. Nick is moving in. They want Maynard, but they can't get him. And Nick is so low but gets away. Oh boy. At the same time now, Zarya gets attacked. The channel has happened on the altar and the shots were fired by Washed Up. 3 points off the core of Team Copium, so now it's 4 points to 9. But boy, what a game. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to get pumpkins en route and then go for boss. That's likely what's going to happen here. Get the pumpkins, then move for the boss. I don't think that they're pushing those pumpkins in. That would be professional Sudoku if you ask me. They're not going to just commit Subaru here. If they do that, then it's just like lights out immediately. So they got the expulsion zone. If they use expulsion zone properly, they should be able to take this. But the fight is there. And Falstad is going to make his way towards the top soon. The Frenchie is dead. Masquerade is down. This might just be the beginning of the end. The boss is still up, is going to leash. At some point, they got to commit. At some point, they just got to commit. The boss already leashed, but now it's a 5 versus 4 and they still have the expulsion zone. I think they should have just committed to the boss after they killed Stitches. But they still have, of course, a big shot at making this happen. 15 kills to 8. And Garrosh. He's a survivor. He made it. Leo, low. Very low. Nearly dead. Double altar coming up. Quasar, he has to move out. They're still pinging the boss. And they're moving away from it. Expulsion Zone was used by Zarya earlier to try and get a kill. And it didn't work. Stitches is back in 17 seconds. Just when the altars are ready on the map. So they're trying the same play. They're going again for another mercenary camp to get some of the pumpkins into play. 3 points on the core against 9. What a game. Absolutely insane. But we have Gus. We have so much interrupt potential on the side of Washed Up. Yeah, already Brightwing not making it. Same time now, Hazu getting attacked here, trying to make the play for the team. They're going for Genji though at the bottom of the map. Nick gets low, stunned. He's protected and he still dies. He's dead. And this could be it. But I thought that already a couple of times, and so far it hasn't happened. They're still both on the map, both of the altars. Falstad is nearly down. That's Ana gone. That has to be game. That just has to be game. Leo is also dead. Menodor is channeling. Washed Up. They are about to lose the game. It is a 1-1. And we're going to game 3 as Team Copium takes down Washed Up on one of their favorite maps. GG. Infernal Shrines, let's go everybody! We got the third map coming up, a little bit unexpected. Washed Up against Team Copium is going down to the wire. Now again, we are down to the bottom 4, the top 4 teams. So that means that we have a loser's bracket in this one. And that is good news for one of the two. And it might be good news for Washed Up, depending on how things go here. Can they turn it around, win the third map, and then move on to the winner bracket final? Or do they have to struggle through this one? Copium has done a great job on the last map, and especially with Garrosh. So one of the big questions is, will that be addressed, or do they just feel like, yeah, we just didn't really deal well with him regarding the draft, we don't have to ban him, but they're definitely running down the time here. I don't know if Masquerade is again in the bathroom and they're trying to buy some time, but they're banning Jojo out. So, there it is. Infernal Shrines, and we're starting with a Johanna that gets banned. Obviously, her position on the shrine is usually quite nice. She has a lot of AoE that she can use, a lot of poke from the outside. Well, poking in the sense that she can use shield glare and stuff, not really like damage poke. But she can always like prep those and start to blind people a little bit when they're funneling through the choke points. Regarding Hammer, we don't have a chance for Washed Up to get the Hammer into the action, so one of their favorite heroes is currently gone here. I mean, again, we're going to see a lot of that. Team Copium is one that has diligently banned Hammer out. If you think about what happened with drastic measures yesterday, they initially didn't start to do any of that, and then later on they were immediately punished because Hammer was taken and they struggled massively against her. We got Leo also eliminated, so a lot of the AoE that you would normally expect here to be picked is gone, which makes Blaze, of course, a very, very strong pick right from the get-go. Normally Blaze, Leo are some of the top picks here. We've seen a lot of Urel as well, but definitely Leoric and Blaze, some of the top dogs on this one. Same goes for Hogger, that gets now locked in by Quasar, which I think is going to lead to a Blaze pick now. Because if they don't take him now, it would probably lead to another ban, and then they really have to think about how they want to get their AoE on the front line. But yeah, there's Blaze. That one was a given. So that wasn't really a surprise. But what else are they going to go for this early? They go for Hanzo. Alright. Yeah, Washed Up guy has to be careful now. They gotta be very, very careful at this point. Let's see what they can actually do now. Some of their picks in the last map just didn't work out for them, and if they make another mistake here, then they might find themselves in the loser's bracket after all. That's a bit tricky. They got Lucio, so far so good, and on top of that we now also have Sylvanas. Okay. Bit more push power that they can use. They also have the Wailing Arrow, assuming they go for it. A silence that they can add. In terms of the front line, we got Diablo, Garrosh, Murden all still up. Could be taken here. It's so weird to me to see for the second time in a row Washed Up now playing a third map before we're reaching the winner bracket final or anything. So yeah, so Garrosh gets this time banned out by Team Copium. Seems like they're not going to make a move for him themselves. That's a lot of... I mean, there's a lot of tanks banned out. Now Diablo's banned, Garrosh and Jojo. I mean, we're still having plenty of tanks around. You could go for an Anubara composition and just try to dive deep. You could go for Mirrodin. For a long time, he wasn't really played a lot of Infernal Shrines, but lately he's been popping up here more and more often. There's other alternatives too, but it's kind of interesting to see that we're going from, hey, let's ban these supports out and all of these combos. Let's get rid of Anduin, let's get rid of Lucio, sometimes even Brightwing, and now instead we're having a frontline focus. Brightwing gets taken, and we got Mirrodin. Alright, so the Dwarf, I would still assume that we're going to get it with the Avatar here. Despite the fact that lately Haymaker has been played a lot. So, last two picks. Nick and Baskerade. We need a main tank and we need the Nick special. And then we still need a damage dealer for Copium. But here's the chance. Mephisto and Tyrael. Okay, we get Mephisto. The Mucker OG pick right here. And we've seen him played by other players in Europe, of course, then too. There was a bit of a time when it was fashionable to pick Mephisto, and some people went full on one-trick pony Mephisto players, but the OG is still Mucker. And he can pack a punch. Korea played him in the tournament at the end of last year, I believe, a lot. But in the recent qualifier, I don't think I've seen Mephisto. I don't think it was picked. So now we got Tracer as the final pick. Infernal Shrines, everybody. Map number 3. Let's go, everybody. The final map between Washed Up and Team Copium. Game on, the final map between our two teams here in the winner bracket semi-final. We got Hazorps on Sylvanas, Nick on Mephisto, going on level 1 straight into the Skull Missile build. Banana Age is playing Lucio, Masquerade Tyrael, and Dequaza is playing Hogger towards the right side of the map after their victory on map 2. We now have Team Copium with Gaflo on Tracer, Gipper on Brightwing, Nano Nanzo, Simply Murden, and Menildor is playing Blaze. Coming straight in with the Adrenaline Stim Pack. He has the first talent. Brightwing with the Tracer with the Tracer rounds. Would be a little bit wild if Brightwing would all of a sudden talent Tracer rounds. Kind of weird. But okay, so towards the top, Murden already sitting here at the side, going for the sheep. I like the sheep. Money pick can't be beaten. But the sheep is kind of fine and fun as well. But okay, so what we have right now is an opportunity for the red team to make it into the winner bracket final, which would be wild to say the least. That would be pretty impressive if they are taking down Washed Up here. Now if that happens or not, very different question, time will tell. But as it stands, we already have the next push for a bit of control between the two lanes here. Now, at the 1 minute mark, the camps are going to spawn, and then we're going to have a lot more action around those Khazra camps, trying to get a bit of a mercenary lead. But at the time being, we're still seeing teams just looking to grab a kill, maybe gank up on somebody, and control the space between the mid and the bot lane. And in this case, it's very well controlled by the blue team. So they're doing a good job since they have 2 of their heroes taking their first camp, while still preventing the opponent from taking theirs. So that technically gives them a situation in which they could also make a play for this one. And they're already playing this out a little bit, with Nick scouting this out and ready to dish out the damage. Mirrodin is still at the top and they are fully aware of it too. So they could rotate some heroes over, but they don't want to be that aggressive. Instead they have Sylvanas and now also Mephisto moving down to the bottom of the map in an attempt to get at least the third one. The neutral one, so to say. But yep, here it is. So 2 camps for the blue team. Red team still waiting for that. The Candy King up at the top. And Banana sliding around here. Alright. This is getting a bit tense. First objective will be interesting. Sylvanas is already pushing. So that's a good news for Washed Up, that they have Sylvanas here. So whenever they pull a good rotation off and find themselves on the lane a bit faster, they can start to do some damage, as they did in this case, where they destroyed one of the towers. But can they do a little bit more here? We got, first and foremost, the pulse generator. We also have the sledgehammer again for Muradin. His level 10 will be interesting too. I mean, generally you would expect Avatar. In most of the cases, Avatar that you're looking for. But we have seen a lot of Muradin players lately head into the Playmaker. Not only Lauber. There was... Who was it on the Korean side that picked it? I think it was Hooligan. Hooligan was going for the Korean Lauber play. The title of Korean Lauber. He died early, he died a lot, and then he picked Playmaker. So yeah, even though Lauber changed his MO a little bit, there was a time for months when he would always die within the first minute of the game, reliably, but he changed it slightly. Apparently he wasn't too happy about that particular title, so yeah. But now that the objective is up, the teams are of course fighting in for level 7, and in this case we also have a kill on Tracer. So Tracer gets dropped by Sylvanas, and that's a nice kill, that's first blood too. Washed up with a 5 versus 4, and they can have Holger just pointing around over here. This is still so silly to me to see that it's like over and over and over again. So yeah, he gets taken down too. We got the Frost Storm by now, 8 stacks towards the Skull Missile. We're getting the Skull Cracker here, but the first objective will be taken by the blue team. The Locked and Loaded is in, still pushing this out a bit over here. And now with the move through the mid lane, they can of course try and take some of the structures down. But even more pressure at the bottom of the map thanks to Nick. And yeah, they debate this one over, and there it is. The problem is that it's still a frozen Punisher, and that makes it normally very easy to at least go through the wall. In an ideal world, you want to take the fort too. Most of the time you can't take the entire thing, but even if you're just able to drop it down to 50% HP, that's already a victory. You got Sylvanas who can help them with all of this even more, and they are doing a lot of good damage here. So they dropped it down to 60% HP, maybe a bit more. They're also about to get a couple of kills. Yeah, the first one locked in against Muradin, and the second one could be Menaldor, but instead it's 2 heroes of the blue team that are going down, Lucia and Sylvanas both. They also dropped Tyrael, who's still trying to get a hit here. Also hits the minion wave. Nicely done by Masquerade. So at least they got value out of him. And, well, in total, 3 kills to 2, but nicely done still. So it's a bit of an awkward one, because on the one hand, yep, a lot of heroes died for Washed Up. On the other hand, they nearly took the fort and can at any point move Mephisto in to finish the job. So they lost a little bit of the dominant position they had on the map, but structurally it was definitely worth it for them here. But also well played by Team Copium, because for a long time it looked like they would lose multiple heroes and couldn't get a counter kill, and they were just barely able to hold on, get several kills, and yeah, of course now the fort's gone. Muradin was the one that in this case made it happen. Hazu, that could have been a kill. They could have taken Hazu down here. If that first Storm Bolt would have hit him, that would have been the end. But now they got level 10, the blue team, so yeah, they gotta move back here. Washed Up is already in play here. 3 kills to 3. Level 10 is there. And it is Avatar. No Playmaker risks taken today. Sanctification also. And we got the Consume Souls here for Nick. They come in with the... Oh, the arrow! Yeah, Nano hoping to get a triple stun. Weren't quite close enough, but still hits the arrow against Tyrael. They are still in play. They're still trying to make a move for that camp. Attempting to steal it away. There's a jet propulsion stun. Hitting very hard. Dequaza has to be careful. Moves it in with the shockwave. On the other hand, Sanctification and Bunker are both used. Dequaza low, so is Nano. No kill yet. Menaldor also a bit low in HP. And he makes it out. But Nano is dead, and they might still get the kill on Menaldor. He gets away. Tracer, though, in trouble. And Gav low gets crushed. A double kill for Washed Up. 5 kills to 3. They're definitely looking a bit better now. They haven't lost any major structures yet. They themselves were able to take 1 fort down. And now with Sylvanas, they have a good shot at dropping the bot lane fort too. With 5 kills to 3, they also have taken a 1 level lead in experience, which is of course helping them even further. That's a real nice pressure play here, with Masquerade making sure that the fort falls. 19,000 damage for Hanzo, 16k for Sylvanas. Tequaza just poking the camp out, and the timing is just impeccable. Just as... Oh, it would have been funny as hell if he would have moved in and steals it. Don't think he can, but yeah. We've seen it in the past a couple of times, and every single time it happens, just makes me giggle. But yeah, now we have no level 13 talent lead, but they have the early rotation towards the objective. The camp at the top could technically drop the fort. So it's all about who takes Punisher number 2, especially considering that Washed Up has still their fort and their fountain at the bot lane, which is going to give them an edge here. Neither in the mid nor the bot lane does Team Copium have a point that they can retreat to. So they have to go all in on this one if they commit to the fight. Muradin is already jumping out, and yep, the top fort is gonna fall. Nice arrow. Consume Souls has been used. Top fort is taking massive damage because of that camp on the top lane, but the fight down here is also starting to turn against Team Copium. They're really low on multiple heroes. Gavlo's in trouble with Tracer and dies, so that's the first one to fall. The top fort will likely fall too, and they have level 13 talents now as well. It's a fantastic spot for Washed Up to be in. Top side, this one likely gonna get dropped, and even if not, they can pick it up at any point. Now we got a Mortar Punisher that is gonna travel through the bot lane. Not even content with only that, they're also coming in for a pick on the camp so that they can enhance this push even further. So you have a Sylvanas push with a Punisher and a Mercenary camp, while the blue team also holds a level 13 talent advantage, which gives us a bit more synergy with their Port Skull for Mephisto. And yep, that is going to be a wall and maybe even a keep, especially if they're somehow able to get a kill here. So it's a 5 versus 5 as everybody is committed to the fight. Sylvanas already starting to take out the fort here, and that's a camp and a catapult moving into the bottom of the map. Nick is a bit low, but he gets healed, so no problem for him anytime soon either. And the red team is still waiting for the level 13 talent, so they have so many disadvantages in this battle. And it is gonna be the first keep of the game that gets destroyed here. Washed Up can now safely move back, at least in theory. Or they could go for a kill. And they're trying for Muradin. The arrow hits, connects with one. Shockwave is out. Maenaldor gets caught. Still alive though. But Brightwing dies, and so does Muradin. All of a sudden, it's a 5 versus 3 situation. They're dropping Hanzo and they're dropping Blaze. And that opens the core up. 15 to 13, they make the play for core and game. Washed Up on their way to the grand final, to the winner bracket final, apologies, of the first qualifier for Europe. 5-man team wipe as Tracer gets eliminated, and Washed Up moves on to the winner bracket final with a 2-1 victory over Team Copium. GG, well played.